All right, it's been a few days, but yes, Roy Moore lost in Alabama. That's awesome. Doug Jones, well, he's the winner. Democrat. That don't make it a great win. It makes it a step in the right direction win. Doug Jones, we don't know what he's going to do. We don't know if he's going to be establishment Democrat or, lead under his own volition Democrat or justice Democrat. We don't know what he's going to be. We don't know what's going to come of it. But I'll tell you this, it's a step in the right direction. That's what's most important. Roy Moore, accused at best, accused child molester. Even back in his day, at one point he was kidnapping too. Hey, when you lie to somebody about what you're going to do and you do something different, that obviously means something criminal is going to happen. He lied, took a girl out somewhere, and then abandoned her when she didn't want to give in to him. That's kidnap, child abandonment, that's negligence, it's everything. And I need everyone to understand, this is important. This is real important. It's not that Roy Moore lost, all right? It's not that. It's that there were people that came out in droves. The last 2 to 3 counties in Alabama to be counted, the last people to be counted were the African Americans. They came out in record number to basically say, hell no. And I hope Doug Jones notices this. I'm not just saying that. Everyone on social media so far is saying that, look, you need to remember who the hell voted for you. You need to remember who the hell put you where you are, and you need to pay it back. You need to pay attention and do what's right. He's got to. If he don't, you know what that means? Because it happened with Reagan. It happened with Clinton. It'll happen with anyone that says, I need the African American vote, and then I'm going to screw you over. And chronology wise, you won't even know it. You won't know it, period. Until later on that, oh, this person did this and did that. And you're like, what? We voted for this person? What the hell? And the best we can do is, well, it's not a Republican. It's more than that. It's more than that. It needs to be not that it's not a Republican. It needs to be, it's the right type of Democrat. It could be the Green Party. Okay, it could be a Justice Democrat. It just can't be an establishment Democrat. It can't be a corporate Democrat. It can't be anything like that. Roy Moore in Alabama, look, let me just say this. Alabama is a proven failed experiment where absolute capitalism ran amok with absolute racism. Alabama? Granted, North Carolina is where the headquarters, home, and heart of the Ku Klux Klan is. But Alabama is the experiment of what if you marginalize every minority, let the capitalists do what they want to do, deregulate them, and then anyone who's poor, push them down, boot the neck, and mess them up. Because Alabama is a third world country. Roughly about 2010, I think 2007, I started saying, and I put it online in multiple places under a different name, but I would say the United States is the richest third world country. That's what we are. You've got the richest people here, but they ain't that rich because they did great and everyone is prosperous or anything. No, they're wealthy because they made sure everyone else is that poor. Everyone else is that poor in Alabama. You know what they did. As much as those racist, asshole white people were held down, you know what they did? They blamed the black people for their woes. It was in many articles and a lot of things that coming out of Alabama. Also things in Alabama were capitalist people, racist capitalist people. What did they do? They sat there with their apartments and raised the price of rent just so minorities couldn't afford it anymore, and then ushered in whites that could afford it. And as I said on a video that this is a step in the right direction. But right now, this is a win for the non-racist white people. That's what this is. It's a win for them, because white people in general has had a belief system and action following that belief system that paint them unnecessarily ugly in the Black community, the Latino community, Asian community. And the reason I say unnecessary is because they're the ones that are not racist, the ones that want to just, hey, who are you? What's your name? Let's get along. Let's do all this. They're drowned out. They're drowned out. And so whenever in our communities, some white person come along and they want to be friendly, like, hell, that's some shady shit, man. You need to go on back. You're trying to fuck us up. Go on. There's no trust. And, it's not disbelievable. The proof is in our society. Another one that's done it? Cops in general. Cops have lost the trust. And that's how it is. Cops was murdering Black people and other minorities for decades. And we give the police immunity from persecution, immunity from prosecution, immunity from imprisonment. We give the police that. So then no, my child wouldn't do that. My child was doing this and not armed. And when you hear that from an African-American woman or a Latino or an Asian, and the cop says, look, the person had a weapon. They were obviously on drugs, yada, yada, yada. And what happens? It gets reported to the news. We believe it. It's that simple. They say it on the news, so we believe it blindly. Why? Because why would they lie? We ask that. Why would they lie? They're the cops. They don't have to lie. That's the justice. They're law enforcement. They ain't got to lie. But no, the motherfuckers lie. They kill your babies and they lie. And I said it last year. When this murdering spills into the white community, that's when it's going to be enough. But it's not, because they're still getting off. Killing a white teenager, they get away with a lot of chances, murder basically, in taunting cops, but they get shot and killed. A white woman in her pajamas called the cops, she gets killed. There was a homeless white dude, he got shot by the cops, the dog sat on him, and he was bothering nobody. But it's not enough. You know what the truth is? The rich white people need to start getting shot and killed, but the problem is that's what the cops are protecting. So that's why there is no trust when it comes to the cops. None at all. They ruin the trust. And now when anyone gets in trouble, you want to call the cops, but you know someone's going to end up dead. That's the first thing you're like, somebody's going to end up dead. And that's scary. When cops come up to my door with flyers and stuff for their whatever donation drives and whatnot, I'm like, oh shit, I don't answer the door. I act like I ain't even home. All right. And those of you who said it, yeah, I pretty much treat them like Jehovah's Witness back in the damn 80s and 70s. Like, no, don't answer the door. So this is what happens when those racist white people was just in absolute control. That's what happened. All over this country. All over the country. That's what happens. And then no one trusts. So the non-racist white people, they have to come out and do something that they've never had to do before. And I hope that they do it, because for Doug Jones against Roy Moore, they came out, but they weren't going to win. They weren't going to win. They put up the good fight. They came out and said, damn this racism, damn this pedophile, and damn this. But what they need to do is shout it more. There's some things on Rupley, and hey, there's white people out there that's for Black Lives Matter. They're not saying, oh, Black lives is the only thing that matter. They ain't stupid because they ain't racist. All right. They know Black Lives Matter means we matter too. And they're out there and they're marching. They're shouting. They're hating the racist. They are doing what they can. And you know something? I don't see any black people out there with them. Sometimes I see one or two. So it's not like they're driven by black people. They're driven by right and wrong. They're driven by knowing that it's wrong to murder and kill people. Just like in Alabama, black people, white people, the non-racists, those who are more forward thinking, they are the ones that said no more. Just like hashtag no more, MOORE. All right. That's what they did. They came out the best they could and they did what they could. And you know what? Roy Moore, he's like, I need a recount. It's not right. You want a recount? I'm going to tell you what's scary. And I'm going to tell you, these non-racist white people, they was going to lose. Y'all, I mean, I just kind of said that. Yeah, but actually I perfectly said that. But no, just think. These non-racist, more forward or forward-thinking white people were going to lose because of the racist white people who find Roy Moore as a champion. The white people, the so-called Christians, the evangelicals, and all of this other stuff that says, look, if he want to have sex with a child, that's his business. They're fine with that. They're fine with him lying and kidnapping and abandonment. They're fine with him stalking. They're fine with helping running Alabama further into the ground. It's so poor there. There are diseases there that are only in other countries, that should be in countries. Just the countries that are don't have the proper sanitation levels. That's what that is. And it went from, Alabama, but you know what? It's up there in Michigan. Flint, Michigan did the same thing. It's in Virginia. That brown water coming out, it ain't mud. Some of it is rust. Some of it is other nasty chemicals that they just don't care about. It's a lot of things. What happened in Alabama with Roy Moore being defeated is a step in the right direction. I'm not calling it a victory. I'm not calling it a win like that. I'm not doing it like that because that means problems are solved. And it's not. It's not. This is simply one step in a 3,000-mile step across the United States to make sure things go in the proper direction. And this is just the battle. You have to battle this hard everywhere. You got to get coming out in droves and actually voting for people in the right direction. And once you actually get everyone in office, in power, that's going to do the right thing no matter what. All right. Once you get them in, that's when the battles have stopped, but the war isn't won, because then you have the greatest war right then. You have to battle yourselves, your complacency. And you have to make sure that under every circumstance, you vote for the right person and not just because they're not Republican or they're not conservative. You have to vote, and you got to vote for the right reasons. You got to, because if you don't, you get Donald Trump. I mean, it's plain and simple. If you don't, you get Roy Moore again. If you don't, you'll get, look, Nancy Pelosi. Seriously. I mean, there's too many bad politicians. We need statesmen. Now, as I said before, I'm trying to correct that because I was just saying governing bodies, because I heard statesman, but it had a negative connotation when I was growing up. So I didn't want to say statesman, but yes, I get it. A statesman, they go in, do their job, they're gone. Politicians, they're in for the career, and you can't have a career if you ain't making money. But they try to divide them up into two things, career politician and non-career. No, we need to get out these career politicians. You want to stay for, more than your term by like maybe 2 terms until someone better comes along. I can see holding the seat until someone better or equal comes along. That makes sense. But this is our era. This is our era, not error. This is our era. All right. Forward thinking, progressive, Justice Democrat, brand new Congress, whatever. We need it. The Green Party, you want to step up? You've done it in South Carolina. You've won a seat in South Carolina. You need to get on board. You can't do what you do during presidential runs. You got to stay in the light. You got to push your platform, push your agenda, push your people. You have to push. You have to get them right there in the public spotlight. You got to make some noise. The Green Party should not be seen as a vanity party. It can't not be seen as, we come out just to disrupt votes, or, it's an election season for president, we'll push our person. No, you got to be there all the time to make sure you get there that one time. I know that's hard to do. I know that's speaking a lot, but that's what you got to do. And I get that. I mean, look, I support any party that's forward thinking. It's not necessarily the party, it's the person. Does the person agree with me? Hell, I learned about 4 or 5 months ago when Jake Yerk was talking about a progressive Republican. And it hit me. A progressive Republican is basically what we believed a Republican was back in the 80s. That's what we thought. That's what a progressive Republican is. That ain't good enough for me, but I get it. I mean, they're supposedly not racist, so hey, that's a leg up. If you got a progressive Republican running where you are and you don't want to vote Democrat or Green Party or anything, there you go. Find yourself a progressive Republican. But this needs to be our era of forward thinking, because Alabama is an experiment and it failed. Disease, barely any jobs, just an ongoing poverty. It's a cesspool of anything negative. And the only ones making money are those who are running the businesses, calling the shots. Everyone else is making just enough money to keep them in power. Alabama, you got a long way to go, but I believe you can get there. What you did tonight, not tonight, but a few days ago, when you voted in Doug Jones and voted out Roy Moore, you need to keep that going. That's what you need to do. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Get your economy going. Get the establishment hacks out of there. Get the corporatists out. Get the lobbyists out. Get in people that gives a damn about people and not their pocket. And you'll be all right. Get those racists out. Remove them, because they are killing it for the non-racist white people. And for all of you racists out there, every single one of you, Alabama gave you another reason to hate black people, because they didn't want your goddamn child molesting, racist, Confederate loving, saying slavery was good because we had strong families. Oh yeah, white families are strong because of slavery. At the end of the day, fuck them. Roy Moore ain't shit, and Alabama did the right thing. And all you racists out there got another reason to hate black people, because they did something positive. And Doug Jones, they did it for you. They did it for them. They did it for everyone. So remember what those African Americans did. Remember how they voted, who they voted for, and what would have happened if they never showed up. And be thankful of those non-racist white people. Be thankful of them, because if not for them, there wouldn't have been a battle to even have, because the African Americans wouldn't have had enough votes anyway. So you need to thank all those forward-thinking people, Doug Jones, and do right by them. And anyone else out there, do right by this country. Vote in the right direction. This is Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.